News 3 Now sits down with the former West High School employee. He says he was fired after using a racial slur, and the district got it wrong this time. And a home invasion overnight in the town of Westport is serving as another reminder to all car and homeowners.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. A former West High School employee is filing a grievance with the Madison Metropolitan School District after being fired yesterday for using the N-word. It comes after several incidents of staff members using racial slurs in front of students in the past year. Madeline O'Neill is live at West High School with why this time the staff member says it's different. Maddie?
Charlotte Marlon Anderson was a security assistant here at West High School for 3 years. He worked within the district for 11. He has 3 sons, one who is president of the Black Student Union here at West. Several students, supporters of Anderson, and Anderson himself say he never should have been fired because he was just using the N-word, asking a student to stop calling him the N-word.
That's part of my passion. I love kids.
If anyone knows the power of words to light up a student's world, it's Marlon Anderson.
I always say things like, you the best, you the greatest.
It's one word he said.
I do not feel that it's fair.
That got him fired from his job as a security assistant at West High School.
I made a conscious decision to address the word because it is an epidemic. Our kids use it just every day.
Anderson says a student who was refusing to leave the school pushed the assistant principal, so he felt it was his job to help. That's when the student said this.
He called me a BIT as N-word.
Anderson says no other staff member told the student to stop, and he only said the N-word to tell the student to stop calling him that.
You have no tolerance for a word, but yet you allow a student to call me that word over 15 times without correcting that behavior.
It's the zero tolerance policy for staff saying the racial slur that got Anderson fired, a policy he wants the district to look at.
It's lazy. It's lazy.
He says when it comes to using the word, context is everything.
My father was called this word. My grandmother, my grandfather, and keep going on down the family line. We were all called this word, and not one of them could say, don't call me that. I can, and I shouldn't be punished because I have the right to tell somebody not to call me this word.
MMSD's Board of Education president writes in a statement that while racial slurs have no place in schools, quote, we have also heard from the community about the complexity involved, and it's our duty to examine it. In the meantime, Anderson sees the power of his students' and supporters' words pouring in on social media, now helping him.
Regardless of whatever the future holds for me with the MMSD, I know that I touched a lot of kids.
The Education Board president says she's requested a review of policies in relation to cases like this. She says she wants to make it a community discussion. The Madison Teachers Union is representing Anderson in his grievance, requesting a hearing to appeal his termination. Now, that can be a long process. In the meantime, some students are planning a walkout from West High School here tomorrow morning. Of course, the story we'll keep following.
Madeline O'Neill reporting live at West High School tonight. Maddie, thank you. Police have identified the woman accused of shooting her estranged husband last night in Janesville. 43-year-old Nova Suarez of Monona is now facing a tentative charge of first-degree intentional homicide. The shooting happened around 9:30 last night at Black Hawk Community Credit Union on Center Avenue. A 48-year-old man was shot in the face while at an ATM. He ran to a nearby gas station where witnesses called for help. He is expected to survive. The Sauk County Sheriff's Department took Suarez into custody around 6 o'clock this morning. We're learning more details today about the tentative deal to end the strike at General Motors. According to the Detroit Free Press, the proposed agreement is a 4-year contract. Union represented workers will get an $11,000 bonus upon ratification of the deal. By September 2023, all permanent manufacturing employees will make more than $32 per hour. The deal has not yet been approved, meaning the nearly 50,000 strikers haven't returned to work. Dozens of the 4,000 strikers in Fort Wayne are those making the trip from southern Wisconsin. Nearly 100 former Janesville employees work at the Fort Wayne plant and say while they might not see the benefits of the strike during their careers, it's worth it to them to show solidarity.
We value the company. We value what we have gotten from GM. They've given us a great opportunity to make good wages, have good benefits, and do well by our children and our families.
Workers were told despite the tentative agreement made Wednesday afternoon, they'd be striking until further notice. Let's turn things over to weather now. Here's meteorologist Chris Reese with your first alert forecast.
Hey, we're finally seeing a beautiful sunset out there. After a sunrise this morning, clouds tried to steal the show for a little bit, but the sun is going to get the last word as we go through today. Here's a live look towards the west, looking towards Blue Mountains from the station as that sun begins to dip below the horizon. Just absolutely beautiful, the color out there. Temperature-wise, we are now at 50 as temperatures drop with the sun setting. I do think those clear skies are going to allow the temperatures to drop quite quickly as we head into the afternoon and evening. Already 40 showing up in Wautoma, 47 in the Dells, Camp Douglas, also at 47. Monroe, you guys have dropped to 49. But I do have to show this just because it was a little funny. Once that first round of cloud cover really tried to move away, that next round of cloud cover just popped on up. And so that's what kept us cloudy. But we will be clear as we head into tonight. Look for those temperatures falling into the mid and upper 30s for those highs. Some areas of frost can't be ruled out.
Neighbors in the town of Westport say they plan to install home security cameras after a home invasion overnight. Rose Schmidt explains what happened here.
Come up with a new nightly routine. Set a reminder on your phone to make sure your doors and cars are locked. Keep your lights on at night. These are all suggestions from the Dane County Sheriff's Office. Deputies responded to a home invasion on River Edge Road before 4 a.m. this morning. The burglars used a garage door opener from an unlocked car in the driveway. The victims woke up this morning to the sounds of suspects in their home, leaving neighbors concerned for their own safety.
We've been fortunate that we haven't really had a lot of problems in this particular, subdivision for many, many years. But I've been toying with the idea of getting a couple of cameras, and now this incident last night convinced me that probably in the next week or so I'm going to have a couple of cameras on the house.
Deputies are still looking for the suspects who they say took off with car keys and a wallet. The sheriff's office is also asking anyone with home security video to share it with them.
A bill to rename a post office in Sun Prairie in honor of fallen firefighter Captain Corey Barr has passed to the U.S. House of Representatives. The Senate passed bipartisan legislation earlier this summer to make the change. Barr died when a gas leak caused an explosion in downtown Sun Prairie last summer. The explosion destroyed several buildings downtown. Barr is credited with evacuating more than 100 people from the affected area before that explosion. Some state-of-the-art technology is on display today on the UW campus. The goal is to encourage collaboration on the future of travel and to allow people to experience it first person. The Wisconsin DOT and the UW Madison Transportation Operations and Safety Lab are hosting representatives from across the Midwest, showing off some of the latest technology in automated travel. The UW has been designated as one of the 10 proving ground pilot sites for testing and information sharing around automated vehicle technology. There is more to come on News 3 Now at 6. When we come back, the state's largest children's entertainment company is facing legal action from some of its employees, what they are claiming, and the company's response. And then later tonight, District Attorney Ishmael Ozan announces some big changes coming to Madison, the new project he's working on tonight at 10. Welcome back. The Janesville rest area along I-3990 southbound in Rock County will be closed for about a month beginning Monday. According to the Department of Transportation, crews are working to complete the interstate ramp, connections to the rest area, as well as expanded truck parking. The closure will last until November 15th. A company called Princess My Party says it is Wisconsin's largest children's entertainment company. It's facing legal action from some of its employees. Princess My Party performers put on Facebook that many of them have not received payment for months. Jamie Perez spoke with a former employee today and is hearing from the Fond du Lac-based company. Jamie?
The former employee that I spoke with today said the company still owes her about $1,000 and probably owes hundreds to thousands of dollars to other employees across the state as well, including those right here in Madison. She said she loves being able to dress up as a princess and make kids smile at birthday parties, but the line was drawn after she went months working without being compensated.
We love doing this so much. It is such a rewarding job and a rewarding experience to work with the kids in such a way that you're their hero.
Andrea Kulo was a princess performer at Princess My Party for about a year before she quit.
They're promising to pay us and then they don't.
She said the company still owes her and others hundreds to thousands of dollars in compensation. In a Facebook post, Kulo posted about her experience, and dozens of others said the same thing was happening to them.
Since I've started speaking about it, I've had so many women message me and come up to me saying, "Thank God you're finally talking about this. I thought I was the only one."
Kulo said her first monthly paycheck went through when she started, but most of the checks after that bounced back.
3 or 4 days later, we'd get an email from PayPal saying that the payment didn't go through. It was rejected by the sender's bank. They would always say, "Oh, I'm sorry your paycheck didn't work out. We'll just add it to next month's paycheck." And so it kept on adding up and adding up and adding up.
We reached out to Princess My Party about this, and they said in a statement, Princess My Party pays the performers out of funds raised from private parties and paid appearances. Unfortunately, the money has run out. The former CEO was floating the company from her personal funds, which have also run out, creating a situation where performers' wages may have been delayed for hours worked. We have been in contact with the Department of Workforce Development, and all of our employees' records are up to date per state standards. Kulo said this has been happening to people for years, but she hopes that it comes to an end.
People I've never even met before that said, "Hey, I worked here 3 years ago. This exact same thing happened to me. I just hope this doesn't happen to anyone else."
Kulo said she and several others are working with the Department of Workforce Development to file a wage complaint so that she and others can get the payment they say they are owed.
There is no shortage of grocery stores across the metro area, and many consumers are always in search of the best deal, with all the choices across Madison and now many online. We caught up with Marcy DeGrief as she was shopping for her family of 4. She tells us she's, of course, always looking to save, but what makes it even more difficult, she wants to find local produce and local meat especially.
I very much like the feeling of knowing where the food comes from.
She, like many others, has a hard time getting the best bang for her buck at the store. Coming up tonight only on News 3 Now at 10, Josh Sprider shows us how to find affordable groceries in Madison while still keeping the high nutritional value for the family. Still ahead at 6, coming up in sports, hear from Badger football head coach Paul Christ as the team gets ready to head to Illinois this weekend. But first, it'll be milder as we head for the weekend. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have all the details in his forecast next. Meteorologist Chris Reese joins us now, and it was a nice day.
It was a nice day. We had a little window of some cloud cover, but for the most part, I think sunshine is truly what stole the day today. We finally get to see more of those fall colors going through today. I think more and more of that shows up as we go through about the next week or so. As you look towards the northern part of the state, a lot of the fall colors are now past peak, but the peak in color, that's working its way towards the south. We're near peak as you work your way into Madison and then down towards the state line. Give it about another week or two, and we'll certainly see the brightest of the color that we'll see so far this year. Temperature-wise today, we topped out at 52. That's because we had a little round of cloud cover work its way into the picture that really kind of stalled the warm-up process. Otherwise, we would have seen those highs closer towards 55 or 56. The normal high is 59. We're at 50 right now. The wind is calm, and notice we're now seeing the moon starting to show up. That is because the sun is certainly setting, starting to dip below the horizon, and temperatures are dipping too. We're now at 48 in Monroe, 46 as you work your way up towards the Dells. Same for our friends in Camp Douglas. And I think with the clear skies, once the sun truly sets, we're all going to see those temperatures begin to fall. Here's the wave of cloud cover that popped up earlier on. We had some cloud cover leaving, and just as it moved up, a little secondary deck of cloud cover moved in as well. We stayed clear as you worked your way back towards the west and full of sunshine. There was no rain, and we still will not be tracking any rain probably until we get you towards Saturday morning or so. So as we head into Friday, we're looking at another dry, wonderful day. That's all because high pressure remains in control. That's keeping that dry air around. What's going to try to change that up is this weak disturbance that's forming across the high plains right now. That area of low pressure gradually tracks towards our direction. As it does so, you're going to notice more and more of those winds coming out of the south. This is where our moisture is going to be coming from, but I'll tell you what, even the air down towards the south is fairly dry, so we're not going to get a lot of moisture out ahead of the system, but it should be just enough to create some showers as we head, say, towards Saturday morning and in towards Saturday afternoon. Behind that, dry air comes in again, but then early next week, another system comes our direction. That'll at least bring some cloud cover along with some additional chances for some rain. Let's time out your Friday. We're starting out with temperatures that'll be in the upper 30s. I do think we will see the sunshine around for a sunrise tomorrow. Sunshine will take us through the rest of the day, perhaps some decorator cloud cover at times. Temperature should top out into the low 60s for most folks. Tomorrow night, here comes that cloud cover. You wake up early on Saturday, temperatures are in the 40s, and then that band of rain starts to move in from the south and west. This will take us into Saturday afternoon. Temperatures should be in the upper 50s and low 60s for highs again, and then we'll gradually start to clear out on the backside of that. But this push of cold coming in behind it is actually going to come in a series of waves. We'll see that first one kind of headed into Monday. We'll drop temperatures by a degree or two. Then by Monday night into Tuesday, this is kind of the bigger cold front that'll come in. Temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s for highs, but then by next weekend, a stronger cold front comes in, and now we're talking temperatures that are going to struggle to get to 40 for those highs. In fact, watch what happens as we go through time here. We'll see a step down into the 50s, and then another step down into the 40s by the time we get you towards next weekend. And folks, as we round out the month of October, most of the country is probable to see more below average days than above average days when it comes towards the temperature. But we're trending drier than normal. We have 3 rain chances in the forecast. For the most part, those are relatively light rain chances. There are more days of sunshine than there are the cloudy days, but they do all appear to be cooler.
The Badger football team hits the road for the first time in almost 2 months. We'll hear what Paul Chris has to say about that in sports. After 5 straight home games, the Badger football team is on the road for the first time in almost 2 months. The Badgers and Illini play in Champaign, 11 a.m. Saturday. The atmosphere at an Illinois football game is a whole lot different than being at Camp Randall. Last week, they had the smallest crowd for an Illinois-Michigan game at Memorial Stadium since 1943. So to be a little milder than the Badgers are used to, Paul Chris says you just have to make your own energy.
Anytime you go on the road, it's going to come from you. It has to start with you. And we're fortunate, and we've got fans that travel and support us, and you appreciate that. But I think that's always one of the things that maybe is a little bit harder when you play on the road, but you kind of look forward to, and that's, you know what, this is where it's got to come from. It's right here in this room, and so getting back on the road, we haven't played a road game for a while. It'll be good. It'll be good for our team, and certainly looking forward to it.
The Packers and Oakland Raiders play Sunday at noon at Lambeau Field. The game is on CBS and News 3 now. The Packers offense still needs a little tweaking. It shows signs of life when Aaron Rodgers dropped in that touchdown pass to Allen Lazard against the Lions Monday night, but it's not there yet. Rodgers says it's coming.
Our main negative yardage plays have been penalties, and as we cut those back, I think, catch the ball and eliminate any mental mistakes, the offense is going to start to take off, I think.
The WIA State Individual Girls Tennis Tournament begins at Nielsen Tennis Stadium today. Healthy snacks available, oranges, apples, that kind of thing. Well, if you eat well, you play well. Monona Grove's Haley Munns must have a good nutritional regimen because she looked good in her opening round match against Mia Baki of New Richmond. In fact, Munns just won her second round match too, so she'll play tomorrow. Verona's Meredith Conley, the 11th seed. The Wildcat senior off to a good start with an opening match win against Lizzie Adams of Brookfield East, then beat Beaver Dam's Morgan Nelson in the second round. Championship matches are Saturday at Nielsen. Wisconsin volleyball head coach Kelly Sheffield didn't yell and scream or do anything differently after his team was 4-4 3 weeks ago. He said maybe if he had a young, immature team, he might have done things differently. But he says it's been all business, and they've taken care of business. 6 straight wins heading into Friday's match against Illinois at the Fieldhouse. Win or lose, he's not going to change the approach.
It's back to work. It's back to finding ways to get better. And we would do that after a loss. We'd do that after a win. I don't have to worry that they're going to take things out of perspective. That they didn't when we lost a couple in a row. I certainly don't expect them to change who they are just because they've won a couple in a row.
The Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week, Wanakee at DeForest. We're live at 7 tomorrow night on channel3000.com with Wanakee at DeForest. And this happened in the NHL last night. Columbus's Sonny Milano had a great goal against the Dallas Stars. Now, it looks pretty good there, but on second glance, you see how really great it was. Little between the legs, flip pass behind him. Ooh, the goaltender didn't have a chance. And look at that. He actually went nutmeg on the defenseman at the blue line and then finished what he started. That guy's name is Sonny Milano.
Sonny Milano.
Yeah. Can you skate?
Oh, gosh, no.
Sorry, I don't ask.
Yeah, we would make a spectacular team.
Yeah, you must have really enjoyed that hockey highlight.
I did. Hockey is a sport I got introduced to last year, and it has changed my life. But I can't play it to save my life. That's one thing.
You're young. You got time.
We'll work on it during my time in Wisconsin. Hey, plenty of sunshine, though, is expected tomorrow. No ice for me to skate on yet. We have hopefully a long time before those days come. But temperatures are going to be kind of on the downslide as we go through the next 6 to 10 days. Look for those temperatures to drop below the 60s early next week. And then the truth is we're really going to struggle out of the 40s, especially by next weekend.
All right, thank you, Chris. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.